Sports leagues live and die by one thing: the fans. If people buy tickets, watch games, and tune into broadcasts, you thrive. If they don't, no amount of slogans or subsidies can save you. And few case studies illustrate this better than the WNBA, a league that for nearly 3 decades has survived not on profitability, but by leeching off the NBA's financial lifeline. The NBA earned its place in the market through competition, innovation, and fan loyalty. The WNBA, by contrast, has been shielded from those pressures. Even when handed one of the biggest stars in sports, Caitlin Clark, the cash cow, the league managed to capture lightning in a bottle and throw it away, raising questions about whether it can ever succeed on its own. This story isn't just about basketball. It's about what happens when ideology overrides market discipline. A business model that survives on subsidies instead of sustainability is no longer a business. It's a social experiment propped up by others. And when ideology shields failure, decline becomes inevitable. The NBA launched in 1997 with the dream of mass market appeal. But the reality, it's never consistently turned a profit. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver once admitted that the league was losing around $10 million annually. More recent estimates put yearly losses closer to around $40 million. And the NBA covers most of those losses, kicking in roughly $15 million each year to keep the league afloat. That makes the WNBA less of a standalone enterprise and more of an NBA-sponsored project. And protection from failure breeds fragility. The NBA grew because it had to win fans in a competitive entertainment market. The WNBA languishes because it has never had to do that. Enter 2024, and the WNBA got the gift: Caitlin Clark. She came in as the most electrifying women's player of a generation. A record breaker in college, drawing nearly 10 million viewers in her NCAA championship appearance. When the Indiana Fever drafted her, attendance and rating skyrocketed. It's called the Caitlin Clark effect. Indiana's home game attendance nearly tripled to 17,000 people per game, a franchise record. And the league as a whole set its highest attendance in 2 decades, 2.4 million fans in 2025. National broadcasts featuring Caitlin Clark saw 2 to 3 times higher ratings than other WNBA games. And for the first time in years, people were actually paying attention to women's basketball. And it felt like the WNBA had figured it out. But did you really think they would appreciate it? Because instead of Caitlin Clark being celebrated by the league and protected, she became a target. In her rookie season, she absorbed 5 flagrant fouls, which was nearly 17% of the league's total flagrant fouls. That was one player taking 1 out of every 6 flagrants. And fans noticed, analysts noticed, and many felt the WNBA wasn't protecting its biggest draw. By her sophomore season, Clark was sidelined with injuries, missing most of 2025. You want to know what the result was? Attendance fell sharply. TV ratings dropped 40 to 50% when Caitlin wasn't on the floor. The league's record-setting momentum evaporated almost overnight. In business terms, the WNBA let its golden goose get hacked out of the market. Meanwhile, WNBA players have pushed harder for better pay, with this season being the year of CBA negotiations. At the 2025 All-Star Game, players warmed up in shirts reading, "Pay us what you owe us." The problem with that? The league doesn't owe them. It doesn't generate enough revenue. WNBA salaries amount to less than 10% of total revenues compared to the NBA's 50% split. But the WNBA is still operating at a loss. Raising salaries without growth means deepening that hole. And fans see the disconnect. Half-empty arenas, declining ratings without Caitlin Clark, and demands for more money? Entitlement without results or qualifications mirrors the broader problems of DEI and affirmative action. Rewarding based on identity or demand or social justice instead of value created. The league has also leaned heavily into activism, from BLM jerseys in 2020 to players making political statements. The league openly markets itself as progressive. And for some fans, that's inspiring. For many others, it's alienating. Sports are escapism. When politics drown out play, casual fans tune out. Consider some of the recent controversies. Natasha Cloud reacted to a political shooting by saying Charlie Kirk had lobbied to be shot in public. No league discipline followed. That wasn't activism, it was an endorsement of violence. Angel Reese, marketed as the face of the league, has repeatedly disparaged teammates and opponents, often showing poor accountability and character. Her on-court play is average, but she's spotlighted over higher performing peers. Caitlin Clark, by contrast, is often undermined in league narratives, with her influence minimized. The optics suggest discomfort with letting her, a straight, white, immensely popular player, become the NBA's centerpiece. And when Fever fans were accused of racist heckling, accusations that were later found unsubstantiated, the WNBA launched a full-scale investigation. Yet when Brittany Griner, the WNBA player that we traded to Russia for the Merchant of Death, allegedly is caught on tape mouthing the words "trash fucking white girl," there's no discipline. The double standard here is clear. Attacks on white players are ignored, while flimsy accusations against fans are treated as gospel. This obsession with race distorts accountability. It's the same reason Irina Zarutska's murder in Charlotte, where her attacker shouted, "I got that white girl," was buried in coverage. The narrative didn't fit. Whether it's sports or society, when ideology dictates whose pain matters and whose doesn't, trust collapses. But let's step back here. What do the numbers say? The WNBA made $180 to $200 million in 2023 revenue. The NBA makes over $10 billion annually. Even with Clark's bump, attendance without her hovered around 7,000 to 8,000 per game. That's lower than Division I men's college basketball. In short, the WNBA's growth story is fragile. It hinges on a handful of marketable stars and struggles to keep new fans once those stars are sidelined. So what does this all tell us? The WNBA is a case study in what happens when ideology trumps business fundamentals. It survives not because fans support it at scale, but because the NBA subsidizes it. When handed a generational star, the cash cow, Caitlin Clark, the league didn't protect her or build around her. Instead, it embraced divisive politics and alienated the very new fans she brought in. And this reveals something broader. Systems that prioritize ideology over merit follow the same pattern. They reward identity over excellence, entitlement over results, and survival through subsidies instead of sustainability. Affirmative action, DEI, and even communism fall into this trap. And that's why it just doesn't work in practice. The NBA earned its success by competing and delivering value. The WNBA, by contrast, exists because of the charity of the NBA. And that difference matters. Without market discipline, you don't have a competitive enterprise. You have a protected social experiment. And experiments without accountability rarely last. Caitlin Clark's treatment underscores this. Percentage-wise, she may be more influential to the WNBA than Tiger Woods was to golf or Michael Jordan to the NBA. Yet instead of celebrating and protecting her, the league fumbled the greatest gift it was ever given. And that's the larger cultural metaphor. Figures like Charlie Kirk put their ideas into the marketplace, willing to compete and debate. That's capitalism. That's America. Compete, persuade, create value. The other side, by contrast, often avoids competition, preferring to extract resources earned by others through subsidies or institutional capture or taxes. That's exactly what we see in the WNBA, leeching off those who prove themselves in the free market while doubling down on ideology. In its most extreme forms, this ideology erases accountability altogether, whether it's celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk or ignoring the racial dynamics of Irina Zarutska's murder. The WNBA is not life or death, but it is a vivid business example of the same underlying problem. Sports are supposed to unite. The WNBA has the talent to do it. Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, I could go on. But until the league prioritizes merit, entertainment, and fan experience over ideology, it will never, ever be profitable on its own. This isn't just a story about basketball. It's a story about business, culture, and reality. Because in the marketplace, a free marketplace, slogans don't pay salaries. Fans do. This is Slide 72. If you want more case studies on how culture and business collide, please hit subscribe and tell me below. Do you think the WNBA can ever succeed on its own, or is it destined to stay on NBA life support?